Welcome to my booktube on Grandcastle Media. My name is Wanjiku Mwangi. Today's segment is going to be about a book by Myles Munroe. It's called Applying the Kingdom. And I am a great fan of Myles Munroe, the late Myles Munroe. And because I have quite listened to him, and he in almost all his videos and recordings and books, he has tried to make us understand the concept of the kingdom of God, of which I think to every humankind the kingdom of God is a very important topic or concept, because it is what each and every one of us want. It is what we were designed for. Because right from Genesis, where God says, let us make man that in our own image, and let him have a dominion on earth over the creation, and he gives his authority to man over the territory of earth. And but anyway, in this book, he wants to his main agenda is rediscovering God's priority for man. And we realize that God in this book, he talks about that man was created for the kingdom of God. He was created for rulership. He was created for dominion. Before reading this book, if you asked me what was the core reason why God created man, I would tell him it was to worship him. But this book refocuses us that the main priority why God created man was because of the so that man may have the nature of God and have exercised dominion on the earth. And how was man supposed to do this? Man was to stay in a relationship with God and function in the earth and have dominion over creation. So man was supposed to have a relationship with God, walk with God, and take the purposes of God and establish them on the earth, establish the kingdom of God on earth. But man lost his authority over creation on earth when he went against God in a few chapters down the line. But that is not where we are going. So now God had to find a way of restoring man into the kingdom of God. So man, after the fall, he lost this kingdom. And so God now started to look for a way to restore man. So God started on a journey to restore man back to this kingdom, to the kingdom of God. And that's why he has to send his son in human flesh, so that he can be able, in him, all mankind can be restored into the kingdom of God, so that man can be forgiven his sin, man can re-enter, can have a new birth into this kingdom that was originally his, but he lost it. But now he has to be redeemed from where he fell. He has to be ransomed back into the kingdom of God. So we see God. So in this book, Myles Munroe tries us to refocus us to the priority of God. And so he also talks about that when man lost his priority, the kingdom of God, the priority of God, what God's intention and purposes was for him. When man fell, he lost his the purposes of God in his life. He lost the priority of God because he was disconnected with the relationship with God. Man was created in the image to mirror God. He was created to reflect God on earth. So when he lost the relationship with God, he lost his ability to connect with the purposes and the will of God. So now man had another priority, and the priority of man became to seek for material security. man started to fend for himself. He started to clothe himself. In the beginning, you see, man did not even need clothing, and what he needed was, food, and food was already provided for him. But now in the fall, man is to tend for himself. Man is to look for food. So what man now looks for is material security, so he can have the security which he had in God before. Now he finds it in material. He looks for it in material, but now that is the wrong search. We seek, but really his hunger is for this kingdom, to be restored back into the kingdom of God where he was. One of the things that you must realize, what you prioritize, you pursue. Whatever he prioritizes, if he thinks of a relationship, that's what he will pursue. If he thinks of provision, that's what he will pursue. But if we prioritize God, that's what we will pursue, because we were created to pursue God, to pursue this kingdom of God, to seek after the will of God and to execute it here on earth, you see. But now we seek after things that do not really fulfill us. There's another concept he says. He says the one who calls the shot pays the bill. The one who pays the bills calls the shot. You see, your boss is your boss because he pays the bill. The moment he stops paying your bill, he stops bossing you. He stops bossing you. So if God is going to boss you, he's gonna pay the bills. If he's gonna boss you, he's gonna pay the bills. That is what I believe. So because the purposes of God is going to fund his purposes. If there's something that your boss wants to do, he's gonna fund it, because that is his purpose. But if there's something you want to do, you don't go tell your employer, oh, fund this. No. Those ones you're going to fund it yourself. So when we have purposes, those ones we're going to fund. But when we are in the purposes of God, God is going to fund it. God is going to fund it. And so, anyway, in Matthew 6:36, Jesus tells his disciples that seek first the kingdom of God and its righteousness. So you seek after God and the principles, seek after God and the principles and how he operates about his kingdom. Know God as king, as a ruler over your life. And when you submit to him, he rules your life and everything you do. So he governs your life and he governs what you do, and your purposes. Now you are restored back into the purposes of God, to be able to walk in the principles and the purposes of God here on earth. Myles Munroe also talks about that sometimes we want to God and pursue things in God. This is something that he says that also really was important for me. He says the way you get into this kingdom is by believing, and sometimes believing is like conception. It's another birth, which is believing, but this conception is different, because but now believing, you cannot see somebody conceiving. It's after some time that you were able to know, oh, this person conceived, because now the changes are happening. The same thing with believing. Nobody is seeing you believing, but over time there is manifestation. So when you give your life to Christ, do not pressure yourself. Know that you have believed, and that is conception. Over time, as you pursue God, the manifestation shall come in, and you shall feel the impact of the kingdom of God upon your life. So thank you for joining us in this booktube. Subscribe. Thank you.